I just look like I have an 80s blowout, but this is when you have it up in this for 3 hours or 4 hours and take it out and 80s blowout. So this is about the flower class. So we're going to do this as a regular old live. It's going to be public, so you don't need any special link or anything to get in it. You can just watch if you want to learn just by watching. But if you want to participate, I'm going to give you some things right now so you can start gathering supplies. I said it in the last video, but this one's just going to be about that. Also, if you want to be on camera, like in a Zoom class, you just have to send me an email and you can do that. You can be on camera. You could train your camera on just your arrangement and your hands if you don't want your face to be on camera, and be anonymous like that if you want to, because we are just going to do it live, a regular old live. So, you do you, however you want to do it. And, I just thought some people said it would be fun to all kind of be together and to be watching what each other are doing, which would be fun. Come as you are. Do it however you want to do it, even if that just means being an observer. So this is what you're going to need. Find a vase or a vessel that is at least 4 inches tall and about 4 inches around. So you don't want a really tall vase. We're not doing a tall vase. We're going to make our stems maybe like 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches. So just so you know that. You need that. You're going to need to get some narrow Florist tape. And Florist tape is specific because it's waterproof. So, and the narrow is important because we're going to create a grid with it, and we don't want like regular tape to take up all the space. So we need to be very, very narrow, and that tape is very tough. I will list it below here, a link to get it. You can get like two rolls of it on Amazon. And if you like the way we're going to do this, you will use this, going forward with your arrangements. So you got your own vase, you got your own tape. You need some sort of clippers. So I don't recommend like scissors, just simply because they're usually not sharp enough. So those are also really inexpensive on Amazon. But just make sure you clean your clippers well. You're going to need a bucket. Now, here is a little known fact, is that if you go to Trader Joe's and buy a bunch of flowers, you can ask for a bucket, and they will give you a bucket, so you could just use that. So then I'm going to tell you closer to the time how to prep your flowers when you get home. We're going to do it next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just so you know, mark your calendars. I'll be making an event for it here pretty soon. I've just gotten where I'm going, and I'm like all dreamy right now, but I wanted to get this out there. So I would recommend that you buy your flowers on Monday or Tuesday next week let's go to Trader Joe's or go to a grocery store. The other thing that I want you to do, if possible, is look around your yard or your neighbor's yard, if you have a good relationship with a neighbor, and see if there's anything that you could cut for greens. And that means like stems of bushes. I have this beautiful ginkgo tree here, and I'm going to pull some of those stems, things that are, not too woody. You want to have more delicate stems, but that's kind of cool to pull things from your own yard. So it could be from a bush. It could be from, like, I've got some vines that are growing that just sort of cropped up randomly. I'm going to pull some of those. I'll see if I have any of these ferns down there. I have these kind of wild ferns, asparagus ferns that grow here. I mean, not asparagus, ostrich ferns that grow here. I'll probably pull some of those. So it's kind of fun to use your own stuff from your garden, and then you don't have to buy as many things. What we're going to use is a palette, and I'm going to put a picture when I make the event of one of my friend Danny's arrangements, and we're going to use that as our inspiration. So when you go to buy your flowers, bring that picture with you so you could just keep reflecting back to that palette. We're going to use an inspiration of a palette of pinks, corals, oranges, yellows, and a pop of purple, if you could find that. If not, that palette is perfectly good on its own. If you can't find the pop of purple, then just get some white, something white. If you don't have greens, meaning stems or leaves from a tree or whatever, bushes, whatever, from your own garden, then Trader Joe's has lots of greens options, so get a couple of packages of that. I'll make a list of what to get. And then we'll probably get, well, they always have lilies there, stargazer lilies. Definitely want to work with lilies. They take up a lot of space. They're expansive. Plus they just, unless you really have an aversion to the scent of lilies, which some people do. It's a thing like cilantro. You know, people have that like genetic thing with cilantro. I think it's the same with lilies because some people think they smell like cat pee and they just like, I can't do lilies. Just be careful, you know, keeping your animals away from them because they are, I guess, toxic to animals, but, you know, just keep them up from your animals. But I love lilies because I personally love the scent. They have a sentimental attachment for me as well, and they take up a lot of space in a vase. So that's a nice thing to have. So we'll definitely get lilies if you don't have any other those adverse situations for them. We're going to get some roses because they often at Trader Joe's have garden roses. If not, just get a packet of roses. Like we'll get one regular roses, one spray roses. And then I'm just going to kind of let you loose to find other flowers that are of small and medium size, whatever they have. It could be mini carnations, it could be regular size carnations, it could be baby Gerber daisies if they have those. Whatever catches your fancy there that is in that color palette, we'll probably use about 6 packages of flowers, and then whatever greens that you get. So we want to have an abundance of flowers, and you know they're not that expensive at Trader Joe's. And if you have any left over, then put those in another vase, give them to a friend, make a second arrangement. But that's what I'm thinking about: 6 packages of flowers, and then whatever greens that you have. But it's so start looking around in your space, in your garden, in your yard, and see what you might have to be able to use. If you want to, you could take a picture of it and send it to me. I have an app that I can do picture this on, and I could tell you exactly what that is if you're unsure. I could tell you what that plant is and if that would be good for that. Not everything will stand up in a vase or have a vase life, but you know we could figure that out if you're so inclined. I'll be happy to do that for you if that's worth even trying. But you know, why not forage in your own space? Kind of makes it a little more special that way. So again, if you think that you want to be doing it like on the screen with the group, send me an email because I'll have to send you a link. I'll have to email you a link. It might be kind of a fun way for you to try that out too. You know how like on all these shows and stuff like Best Guests and stuff with Joel, that's how you get on there. They send you a link and you know they get on the screen with you, and so be your opportunity to do that in a totally, you know, easy, safe way. Nobody's going to require you to speak unless you want to. I was kind of thinking we can all be designing together on the screen, and then whoever wants to can display their final arrangement so we can all ooh and ah over it. And also, you know, if you're stuck, that happens. You know, when I taught my class last time at the retirement community, people trust me, I know this because I have taken so many classes and done so much training where you just get to a point where like something's not working here, and then it takes another set of eyes on there to kind of give you a try moving this over to that side, or yeah, we don't want to do a ton of that because we don't want to disturb our tape, but you know, that way you can get some feedback from other people at the same time, and that's how we learn. So which is part of the fun of doing it, is learning something new. There is something over there that's crawling around. Well, there's so many leaves that I don't know, critter. Anyway, that's it about the flower class. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to put it under here in a comment or send me an email at katiecoolady@yahoo.com. And yeah, mark your calendar, save the date, Wednesday, whatever date that is. Let's see, today's the 2nd, the 8th, I guess, Wednesday the 8th. And I will post an event probably later tonight when I feel like walking upstairs to my computer. So that's the scoop, and catch you guys later. Looking forward to it.